Radio Saltire, broadcasting to East Lothian and the world with Jenna Coburn.
Hello, trips. Welcome to Jenna's Jamboree with me, Jenna Coburn, and for the next 2 hours, I'll be playing a pick and mix, a variety pack, a potpourri of tunes right here on Radio Saltire. I also have some community news, and if you saw on our social media, this weekend sees the return of the Eurovision Song Contest. This year, Graham Norton and the BBC are taking us to Turin in Italy, so I'll be playing a few of the better Eurovision hits. But that is not all. Today is Friday the 13th. Don't walk under any ladders. Don't break any mirrors. Don't open an umbrella indoors. Don't walk by any black cats. That's a bit harsh. And these next two things I've never heard of. Don't spill any salt. And don't pick up a penny that's facing down. That's random, but okay. Is this you, or do you not believe in all this hocus pocus mumbo jumbo? Me? I like to live life on the edge, so I'll speak to that black cat. I'll throw some salt about the place and then get the hoover and hoover it up. I don't believe Friday the 13th to be an unlucky day. But I do have some facts as to where the superstitions have come from. I also have some Eurovision facts, and will be sharing some of the weirdest moments from the singing competition. There is a few. I also have my On This Day segment too, so it is a jam-packed show today. This week we'll either be sat in front of the TV with our drinks and our snacks at the ready to watch Eurovision Song Contest, or we'll be sat in front of the TV with our drinks and our snacks at the ready to watch anything but. Do let me know what you'll be doing by heading over to our Facebook page and commenting on my post, or send us a wee message. I'm really intrigued to see what people actually think about this. But first, let's have some Eurovision factoids. Here we go. The Eurovision Song Contest is the world's biggest music show. Duh. Obviously. All Eurovision songs must be no longer than 3 minutes. Well, obviously again. Because the show will just go on for weeks and weeks and weeks if we didn't. This is random. Live animals are banned from the stage. You know what that says to me though? That someone had an animal on the stage once and it went horribly wrong. I'll need to dig deeper into that and find out. Alright, here we go. In the first ever Eurovision Song Contest back in 1956, Luxembourg asked Switzerland to vote on their behalf, and the winner was Switzerland, of course it was. Ridiculous. The first Eurovision that was broadcast in colour was in 1968 at the Royal Albert Hall. And a year later, there were 4 winners. They all had the same points, and back then there was no rules for a tie. However, in today's shows, if there's a tie, the country with the points from the most countries will win. Oh, this. I love this next one. UK gave 0 points, nil points, to ABBA in 1974. Oh, we clearly get the Eurovision right every time, don't we? So that was just a few Eurovision facts there. I have loads more to come. Now, even though today's show is primarily about the Eurovision Song Contest that's happening on... Oh, it's tomorrow, actually, yeah. And the fact that today is Friday the 13th, I do a segment of the show called On This Day, where we go back in time and see what happened on this day in years gone by. So let's just dive right in. And as usual, this is in chronological order. So, on this day in 1912, the Royal Flying Corps, the forerunner of the Royal Air Force, was established. On this day in 1913, the first 4-engined aircraft was built and flown by Igor Sikorsky. On this day in 1940, Winston Churchill said, "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat," in his first speech as Prime Minister to the House of Commons. On this day in 1943, German occupiers attempted to confiscate all radios in the Netherlands. Attempted. On this day in 1950, the first ever Formula 1 race was run at Silverstone and was won by Giuseppe Farina of Italy in an Alfa Romeo. Last one for now. On this day in 1967, the octagonal boxing ring was tested to avoid corner injuries. That's quite cool, that, actually. I quite like that one. Some intriguing facts right there. I have more fascinating ones coming up throughout the show. Right, I am going to play this one. This one is from Eurovision. I'm sure you'll recognise it, so I won't say anything. I'll just let you play along, listen to this. Surely everybody remembers these guys. These guys were the heavy metal monster band from Finland called Lordi, with their 2006 Eurovision winner, Hard Rock Hallelujah. Brilliant. Trips. If you've just tuned in, you know today is Friday the 13th, but are you suspicious? Do you believe in this whole Friday the 13th to be unlucky? Let me know via our social media accounts. Now, it's time for some more Eurovision factoids. Oakley dokley. So, Ireland holds the record for most victories in the Eurovision Song Contest with 7 wins. That was in 1970, 1980, 1987, 1992, 1993, 1994 and 1996. In 1981, Italy boycotted the contest, saying it was too old-fashioned. Oh dear. In the same year, Bucks Fizz won the contest with their Velcro rip-away skirts, and within 48 hours, Velcro had sold out across the UK. That's nuts. Oh my god, this next one is... What is it? I'll let you think. So, when Ukrainian singer Ruslana won Eurovision in 2004, she was rewarded with a seat in Parliament. Okie dokie. Luxembourg has won 5 times, but none of the 5 winners came from Luxembourg. 4 were French and 1 was Greek. So does that not mean that France and Greece won then? Questionable. Okay, right, listen to this, guys. The previous year's winner hosts Eurovision, we know that, but it's so expensive that some nations have pleaded poverty to get out of it. The countries who have opted out include the Netherlands, France, Monaco and Luxembourg, and the job went to the UK 4 times. Aye, 'cause we foot the bill for everything, don't we? That is plenty. That is plenty. Okay, coming up later in the show, I have some of the weirdest moments in Eurovision history. You know there's plenty. There's loads. Right, who wants to hear some more about what happened on this day? Fabulous. So, on this day in 1972, during the Troubles, a car bombing outside a crowded pub in Belfast sparked a 2-day gun battle, oh my god, involving the Provisional IRA, Ulster Volunteer Force and the British Army. 7 people were killed and over 66 were injured. My goodness. On this day in 1981, Pope John Paul II was shot by a Turkish gunman in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican City. What is going on this day? This day is nuts. Okie dokie though. Let's see about some births. Who graced us on the 13th of May? Zoe Wanamaker from My Family and Harry Potter. She's 73 today. Richard Madeley and Stevie Wonder are both 72 today. Happy birthday to them. Iwan Rheon, Misfits, Game of Thrones, The Dirt. He is 37 today. Lena Dunham is 36. She's an actress. The Batman, Robert Pattinson, is 36 today as well. And last but not least, Tony Watson, aka Tones and I, the Australian singer, she's 29 today. So happy birthday to them. However, sadly, on this day in 2019, Doris Day passed away from pneumonia at the age of 97. Wow. So it would appear that historically May is quite a grim month. Oof. Before I play some music, I want to tell you all about my awesome Tuesday night. I was gallivanting again, and this time I was beside myself because I was very lucky to have been invited to the Edinburgh Playhouse for the opening night of Rock of Ages. I posted my review on the Radio Saltaire socials, but if you missed it, that's okay because I'm going to tell you all about it right now. So, buckle in, grab something to drink and enjoy. Here we go. So, Rock of Ages is a loud, bright, sexy 80s themed musical experience. Set in 1987-ish in LA, we were witness to a familiar story. An aspiring rock star, a small town girl who dreams of making it big in Hollywood, a narcissistic rock star, property developer baddies that were threatening to demolish the local establishment. You know the score. Superb casting came in the form of Sam Tyrrell as aspiring rock star Drew, Gabriella Williams as budding actress Sherry, X Factor winner Matt Terry as egotistical rocker Stacey Jacks, Curly Watts from Coronation Street. Kevin Kennedy as the Bourbon Room owner Dennis Dupree. Kelly Ryan as Gentlemen's Club owner Justice. Vas Constante and Andrew Carthy smashed it as the comic duo German baddies Herz and Franz Kleinman. It was actually really good to see each member of the ensemble get their time in the spotlight too. They demonstrated pitch-perfect singing and performed the high-octane choreography effortlessly, alongside the uber-talented live and, at times, somewhat disguised band. The musical was jam-packed with hilarity. Vicky Manser, who played Regina, had the audience chuckling as she cartwheeled in a rainbow leotard, showing off her overgrown lady garden. And steamy scenes filled with humour of a naughty nature made the show a must-see for adults' eyes only. But the standout performance came from the narrator, the fourth wall breaker, Lonnie, aka Joe Gash. Every time he graced the stage, he had the audience erupt in laughter and his sarcasm and innuendos. And he knew it. One of my favourite moments came at the end of Act 1 when Lonnie was hunched over, clutching his back in pain, only for him to proudly exclaim that he was carrying the weight of the show on his back. Honestly, it was so funny. He's a witful storyteller. Gash controlled the show. He's a natural comedian and entertainer. He ensured that the audience joined in with the show. He singled out a member of the public who subsequently became the butt of many jokes. Honestly, what I'm saying is true. He even had their name written on a sign that he carried across the stage. And this person was Sandra, and it said, "I love Sandra." It was honestly so funny. So it was hugely entertaining and super creative, the way that they got the audience involved in the show. And it wasn't until I got home, actually, that I realised where I'd recognised him from. He performed on the very first episode of the singing show Starstruck as the Freddie Mercury in the unitard. I had no idea. Nonetheless, the pièce de résistance was the music. I mean, 80s belters including We Built This City, Dead or Alive, The Final Countdown, Don't Stop Believin', one after the other rolling out like a classic rock jukebox. Rock of Ages is an exhilarating, foot-stomping, ear-punching extravaganza that you will be belting out the tunes for days to come. So, it's Friday the 13th today. Some people believe today to be unlucky, but why is that? Well, let's have a look. The superstition surrounding Friday the 13th is thought to have originated, with the Last Supper, which was attended by 13 people. The number 13 is therefore associated with Judas, the betrayer. That's a bit of a stretch, but okay. Similarly, Norse mythology, a dinner party of the gods was ruined by the 13th guest, called Loki, who caused the world to be plunged into darkness. Really, is this what the superstition's coming to? It's from stuff like this? Oh my god. However, did you know some hotels have no room 13 and a lot of tall buildings don't have a 13th floor? Some airlines also refuse to have a row 13 in their planes. Right. Bear with me, guys, because I'm about to tell you what the irrational fear of the date Friday the 13th is known as, and it has 23 letters, so bear with me. Paraskividicatriophobia. Yes! Yes! I have been practising that all day. Paraskividicatriophobia. That is the irrational fear of the date Friday the 13th. I'm well too excited for that. So, on today's show, we're talking about the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, believe it or not, there are a few good reasons to tune in. Like, some of the songs aren't actually that bad. Graham Norton and his snarky comments are hilarious. And more often than not, the downright bizarre make an appearance. Just like these from past competitions. Buckle in, because these are nuts. In 2008, Bosnia's performance started with 4 women, followed by a man who raised his head from a dirty laundry basket. That is so random. In 2015, the Austrian act set fire to his piano in the middle of the chorus. Okay then. Right, back in 2008, Croatia's entry featured an elderly gentleman DJing, not on decks, but on a gramophone. What a talent. In 2006, the Netherlands act sang in a language that they had invented themselves. Now, I've got it in front of me, so bear with me because it's nuts. Weramamba We're a bamba bamba. Oh my God, what is going on? And these next ones they're true. So Poland's lyrics were literally, vodka is better than whiskey in June. Greece's lyrics were literally, alcohol is free. Still not as weird as Italy's lyrics in 2014 though. I love parking inattentively. What's going on? Okay, that's plenty for now. I need to go shake off this nonsense. You are listening to Jenna's Jamboree live on Radio Saltaire with me, Jenna Coburn. Today we are chatting about the Marmite-esque Eurovision Song Contest. You either love it or you hate it. I find it absolutely hilarious myself, to be honest. I can't get enough of Graham Norton being all catty and dissecting the other performances. So I may as well just continue with some more of the weirdest Eurovision moments, eh? So in 2013, Montenegro's entry was rapping astronauts.
Oh, in the name of God!
In 2008, Estonia's performance involved women wearing next to nothing whilst holding pictures of onions and other various foods.
Oh my God!
It just gets weirder. In 2014, Ukraine performed with a man in a hamster wheel for absolutely no reason at all. Clearly 2008 was the year of the bizarre, because it was that year when Ireland sent a turkey to Eurovision and sang Eastern Europe, we love you. Do you like Irish stew?
Seriously?
Seriously. And in 2006, Lithuania's entry was just these words over and over and over and over again. Brace yourself. We are the winners of Eurovision. Vote, 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 vote for the winners. And they didn't win. Oh dear. I'll be honest with you though, I think the competition has tamed quite a bit in the last 5 years. So if by any chance or miracle that the Eurovision peeps are listening, go and make it a stipulation that acts have to be ridiculous on stage. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll bring in a bigger audience. I'm just saying. Folks, I've made a boo-boo. I forgot to mention that I have conducted some polls over on mine and the radio's social media pages. Of course I did. So firstly, I asked the realm of social media, will you be watching the Eurovision Song Contest? And 60% said, you know it, with the 40% saying, haha, you're joking. Then I asked, do you think we'll come in last again with nil pois? 60% said, aye, because it's all political, where 40% said, nah, we'll do better this year. And then I asked, do you believe Friday the 13th to be unlucky or just another day? And 29% said unlucky, where 71% say it's just another day. There's still time to take part in the last poll though. Just head over to the Radio Saltaire's Facebook or Instagram stories and you'll find them there. I think it's fair to say though that a lot of us still tune in to Eurovision Song Contest and even more think of us as all political. If you've just tuned in, hopefully not, on today's show we've chatted about the weird and questionable antics of the Eurovision Song Contest. We've also talked about where the superstition behind Friday the 13th came from. And I've also jumped on the Googles and had a nose at what's happened on this day in years gone by. And because sharing is caring, I've spraffed my findings to use. Some grim finds this week. Here's hoping it was brighter times on the 20th of May in history. And to the astute out there, you may have noticed I've also played a few songs that appear in Rock of Ages, those classic 80s rock tunes. Thanks so much for joining me here today on Radio Saltaire. I'll be back next week with something completely different and a puzzler because I've missed doing that this week. But you can put all your pennies on the fact that it'll be totally random and filled with great tunes and bad banter. as no two shows are the same with me. Catch you next week. Bye!